J. Brooks Shadow, J. Brooks Shadow, J. Brooks Shadow, J. Brooks Shadow.
Connection terminated.
I survived. I survived. That's amazing. This power. Prototype sent me to die. It sent me to die. And here I am. You can't kill me. Nobody can. Don't you know? There's a reason I don't live.
The fire causes melting, not Lucas science selling. 2 months it makes sense why you don't got any doctors helping. Compared to light, you will back down because it seems you know your place. I fought with light, it wasn't fighting, people thought me burned to stage. Welcome back, brother. 50 wins, how'd I earn a streak like that, brother? Wanna flame my name and think you measure up your whack, brother? Lacking the black and post the word any day. You're thinking you can tackle, but can't even lift a weight. Hate to root, you're learning, this rapping which of us earned it. The MVP you're observing, but articles you can turn it. Dick out and go confirm it, or flesh your own that's concerning. As modern out, you ain't working, but breaking the book by lurking. You wish it, it's a chorus, so I guess it's time to send you home. Said you'd win it all you want about this shit that wasn't close. Been for years and still is weaker, even then you get it. No, from your friends to even foes, and you're hoping that they crow. For the record, he made it clear it's not a joke. Real reason, real the reasons I keep living. I'm a real demon, feel like someone's left within these walls. Still breathing, still don't need a heart to beat a bunch. Just real reasons, really the reasons just to kill you all. This checkmate, you gonna roast me for rape? Well, you're a hypocrite, you've been caught doing the exact same. Minor show making jokes about grown adults on his cake. Well, what will chance abuse the homeless? There's no money to make. Steve is still so low that it's are stolen and he went to town. Try to dig, but it's too bad that even Blue can shut you down. Doing inventing or when under shoes and serpents hit the ground. Like them cats, you prove yourself, you're one inflicted homework down. Help him out, besides that he's tracing. Grow up now, you're already racist. Race about, no duo can make it. Got no clout, yeah, you can't escape it. Round 2 was less than stellar, I'll be your fortune teller. Only time you stack up to me is the shit we get from Keller. Get your helpers, maybe they'll help you predict for shit. Can't even get all your fans, their accounts won't help you win. We make against Highlander, yeah, you're still taking a hard loss twice. Not just him and he won't even let you cook you by design. But I'm fine, Brooks wanted this, that's no sign that you commit. You're upset that I don't lose, cover yourself, bitch. Real reason, real the reasons I keep living. I'm a real demon, feel like someone's left within these walls. Still breathing, still don't need a heart to beat a bunch. Just real reasons, really the reasons just to kill you all. I don't cry, I don't bleed, I won't die, it's still me. I won't lie, I don't scream, I don't die, it's still me. I don't cry, I don't bleed, I won't die, it's still me. I won't lie, I don't scream, I don't die, it's still me. Real reason, real the reasons I keep living. I'm a real demon, feel like someone's left within these walls. Still breathing, still don't need a heart to beat a bunch. Just real reasons, really the reasons just to kill you all.
All entertainment must come to an end. At the hands of Jay, you are now eliminated. Once deemed an underdog, you are now underground.
Kane is in out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. Alright, already the whole moves on. Alright, every goes just like in round 1. I will fight you with your powers, made out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. Alright, you got me stressed, it's a race to finish. Can't stand me, but by finish, I'm at beatboxing, not thirsting. You are max brain. So with me, so there I roll that system, try taking my thunder. Royal get ghosted again like it was Mewtwo and Best Jumper. Wanna know, at least you go cheat to your property, but you know, J-Man, I gotta stay up in this ocean. And it just formed to just pieces. Mommy Jane, is that who you budge? They just admit it, but you're just the main guy dancing that fucking her tip from your squad line. You in the fun of a choosing move, boy, but you're the book, okay, you wouldn't know story. Claim the background character, you rap these with the wild. Makes sense he's stuck on shadows, then living in denial. You and I jump on 3 shit, I don't see the diss by. Believe it, true, but crewmate to deliver the punchline. Alright, already the whole is on. Alright, and me blows just like it round 1. I will fight you with your powers, made out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. Alright, already the whole moves on. Alright, and me blows just like it round 1. I will fight you with your powers, made out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. So you say dreaming, God can't see, so you fight demons. Posture sucks, but there's a reason. Slash your neck and now you're bleeding. Beat you now with Arden's blessings. You and Masons, 18 seconds. Beat to him, you spike that dude. When all he does is draw you new. Baby, from your tummy, yeah, I stay dropping it more. Ain't no more fucking around, I turn your OC into gore. Certain on the winner of this matchup, are you sure? Don't quit when you get down, or we can just call you Jabaro. Cliffing in the hood, 2 seasons, no longer know what's the move. You blame it on the LARPing, but that's literally all that you do. With the football team, it's ironic, right when you didn't hype, but disregarding Euros and their left the shit we don't like. Alright, already the whole moves on. Alright, and me blows just like it round 1. I will fight you with your powers, made out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. Alright, already the whole moves on. Alright, and me blows just like it round 1. I will fight you with your powers, made out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. Some who fallen others when you made it here through pain with skin. You dodge hard fights and still roll me. Yet for once I won't be a kid. Say true's a Jew, but that line's free. But don't give your pity on me. The goat is who is truly thee, but you can prevent it by shame. Looking through the score is not a hard factor dissect. With the tempo that I'm going, I can beat the silk the best. Breaking out your chains, you would like that fucking freak. But the only thing I'm breaking is any streak. Alright, already the whole moves on. Alright, every blows just like it round 1. I will fight you with your powers, made out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. Alright, already the whole moves on. Alright, every blows just like it round 1. I will fight you with your powers, made out for 9 straight hours. And once that with Sierra, the whole moves on. Alright.
Perfect.
Well, well, well. We all made it.
we made it to round 3 of YBB World Champs. So anyway, this episode's actually coming out pretty quickly, by the way. Brooks only dropped like a couple days ago. Round of applause for me, everyone. And round of applause for you, because you get to watch this now. So this was like the hardest battle that I have ever judged so far on World Champs, because this is the first ever battle where I didn't really know who was gonna win coming into it. I think literally every other battle except for Mason versus Mihal. That one I didn't really know either. This and that were the only 2 battles that I have come into being unsure about a winner. Anyways, so the thing is, I knew that every category was going to be really close. Like, at best, like a 1-point difference. Which, sure, would be a difference in MB's favor, which I predicted. It was mostly right. But then the lyrics came in. And while Brooks weren't the best, they were still, like, noticeably above MB's. So this entire battle's fate was based on, are Brooks' lyrics better than MB's every other category is better than Brooks' every other category? And seeing as the battle was a 1-point difference, god damn, it almost was. Point is, this battle was way closer than I expected it to be. No hate to Brooks, but I'm gonna be honest, I thought this was gonna be like a pretty clear victory for MB. Like a 10-point difference, maybe. But it's only one. It's only a 1-point difference. Good fucking shit, Brooks. I think Brooks deserves a round of applause. Brooks is the only contestant in the main league that I did not choose to even be in the tournament. As some of you guys may know, he was voted into it. And he made it all the way to round 3. He even beat Lucas in round 1, which is one of my favorite contestants in the whole thing. You fucking earned this shit. I am sad to see you go, but goddamn, bro. We're gonna miss you. I will anyway. Anyway, let's get to the actual battle, why don't we? Starting with MB's vocals, which are a 19 out of 20. So this is an extremely close 20. We already know MB's style, so I'm not going to reiterate for a 3rd time. I say it every time. So firstly, the singing. It's incredible. I also don't have any noise gate issues this time, so let's go! So basically, the vocals are extremely passionate, and MB hits really good notes every time they sing. The harmonies are at their best here, and are really complex. They're still subtle, but they hit just as hard as they need to without overdoing it. So the background vocals are also incredible here as well. The notes are great, and the vocal ranges show it off really well. They also add a really cinematic feel to the beatbox, and it brings everything together really well. The rapping vocals lastly are mostly great as well. For most of the beatbox, the delivery is really strong, the pitching is really impressive as well, and everything is super consistent. So, there are times, however, where MB's tone is delivered, like, really weirdly. It'd best be described as the tone when you're used, like, out of breath. Which, by the way, MB obviously is not out of breath, it's just her inflection on her words, which make it sound that way. So to give you a vocal example myself, instead of like a da 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 da, it's like a da 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 da. Like you're just kind of like putting on that like weird voice or something. So it's just like, it's just a weird ass tone. Why would you do that? Now obviously, MB doing that not as an extreme of an example as I just showed off at all. To be fair, I judged this a while ago. Maybe it is that extreme. I just know that that's the issue I had. So it's probably not to that extent. So take that specifically with a grain of salt. For another reference, if you take just to show MB doing it themselves, because I guess you shouldn't only go off mine. Take the delivery of like right here.
You're upset that I don't lose, cover yourself, bitch!
And compare it to the inflection of the vocals at like moments like this.
So rook alerted, this probably what you're asserting. The MVP you're observing, but articles you can turn it.
Then it becomes easier to know the difference. Like you can hear when she's like doing that inflection and when she's not. And it is a lot better when she's not, if I do say so myself. So, at the end of the day, this is a minor gripe. It still sounds perfectly fine. It's just an area where MB could have been a bit better, and it is why there's no 20. Sorry. One fun note, by the way, once again, MB makes really good use out of BandLab's auto-tune features. They even made modern rap work in the chorus, which is like, God fucking damn, bro. All power to you if you really want to use that, because it worked. Overall, it's a really, really strong category. I just had that one small gripe. That's the only reason it's not 20. Also, shout out to that Bit Crusher part. That's awesome. So, lyrics. 13 out of 20. That's just a very surprising for MB, if I do say so myself. Especially after the round, too. So, this is the most fine score for the most fine category that you can get. So, firstly, the roast. They're fine. They're fairly unique on Brooks, which is good. Brooks is pretty obscure, not really the easiest person to roast, so I think this is a plus. This does, however, come with the issue that not a lot of them are as strong. So while some of the roasts are like perfectly fine, there's a good few that feel like it's trying to turn something completely irrelevant or normal into a roast. An example I want to use for this is the fucking Hear Me Out cake lyric, because literally, what is it a roast about? About being into adults. Would you rather him put jits on it? Would you rather it been filled with minors? I know Brooks is a minor, but like, is it not normal to find adults more attractive than kids? Why are you roasting him for that? This bar is extra bad specifically because there's so many people on the cake that you could have talked about too. There's a couple more examples of this as well, like the doctor line near the start. The two screenshots there aren't really related either, by the way. There's also him saying his OC is worse than the Ledges, which is like, sure, I guess, bro. I think most people have a worse OC than Ledge, personally. But even if you don't, it's like, it's just not that crazy. Like, this isn't really a... What the fuck? Anyway, lastly for roast, there's a lot of segments which is just MB aura farming. I can give this the benefit of the doubt because, like, I get it. There's only so much to really say about Brooks if you want to be original. But when I listen to these segments, all I can really think of is MB not having material rather than the aura. So this is really the most of it. There's not really many outright bad roast, besides the ones described here, of course, but the rest are really just decent. Now, there are a handful of really good lines that do kind of counteract the bad ones, so overall, it's like some really good ones, some really bad ones, the rest is fine. Overall, the roasts are fine. They're decent. That is the best way to put it. It is decent. So the writing, exact same boat. The wordplay in the bars is fairly minimal, but usually just fine. There are a good few times where it tries to connect two unrelated things, but again, there's some good ones to make up for it as well. The real issue here, if anything, is MB just not having any correlation from bar to bar, so the beatbox feels random. Overall, there's some issues, some praise, and the rest is decent. This is the most decent lyrics category in the show, and as a result, I decided to give it the most decent score. There you go. Beatboxing. 17 out of 20. This is pretty much almost exactly the same as round 2, but instead of like breaths, like MB did like the instead of something like that, it was with snares, like panning snares. So anyway, once again, the skill set is basic. It's as basic as it gets, matter of fact, but MB's great with it. She uses just the basics and tongue bass and has basically mastered it. The tongue bass is really strong and punchy and fits perfectly over a beat. It's also not amplified by the beat in any way. Like, this bass is not there at all. So like, the power of the tongue bass here is completely raw. That is fucking sick. The patterns she uses are again separate from the instrumental, but fit between everything perfectly. So there's also a solid amount of tech, but it only pops up occasionally. But when it does, it's really solid for what it is. This is really about it for the skill. But the usage, again, is what carries the category. So this is layered very well, and it even has its own project this time. It definitely didn't go to waste either. Panning is used, kinda as already stated, everything to make everything more full, and everything fits together perfectly. Everything fits absolutely perfect over the beatbox, and I don't think I would have it any other way here. So overall, usage is at its peak, but the sound set and skill still have more room for improvement. I'd say as a whole, while this is slightly better than round 2's beatboxing, in my opinion, it's not better enough to where I would grade it a point higher than it. So 17. Flow, 20 out of 20. So as with each round so far, MB's whole thing is really good rapping, and this is no less impressive than any solo that she's made so far. So the flow is really fast the whole way through, but still fairly complex at times. This is honestly really about it. It stays really consistent with everything, and there's no real mistakes at any point. It's also mostly original with some inspirations from the remix, which makes it more impressive for me. I don't think I have much more to explain. It's just MB doing what MB does and is great at, and it's incredible. So really good flow. Which honestly, to be real, bro, we're in round 3. I don't know if I really need to be that crazy with like flow. I think we get it at this point, and it's just really good. Other is a 0. There's nothing here. There are a lot of projects in this beatbox. There's 3 of them, but I feel like most of these were just for the necessity of the beatbox, and it doesn't really change anything to the point where I would add a point for it. Like the intro to this beatbox, like the J. Brook Shadow. That's its own project, but like I don't know if it really needed to be. I feel like you could have put that in the first one and got away with it. But like, sure, it doesn't really matter. Then the beatboxing is its own project too, which there are a lot of players in the like the main project, but like I think this was more of like a necessity. Like there just wasn't room for it. I don't think this is really like adding anything crazy to the beatbox. So no point for other. It's a total 69 in mid A. Now on to Brooks. Brooks, I want to give you one more message. You were my favorite underdog, bro. You were the underdog of the tournament, and you were great. I'm gonna miss you. So vocals, 18 out of 20. These are really good. I have heard a lot of complaints about Brooks' voice. This is irrelevant to the judging. This is just because Brooks is a jit. That is like literally what the complaint is. We just have to accept that. Brooks' voice literally just sounds like that. They're young. They're a kid. I'm not gonna deduct them because they're a kid. Fuck out of here. Okay. The singing is solid. The chorus is really passionate, and the notes in most of the layers are really good. The harmonies are also great as well. So yeah, Brooks has finally learned. The only real issue is the high note layer. This is just really bad. It's super inconsistent and all over the place. It's also filled with cuts, so you cannot hear the cuts in the actual beatbox. Like you do not hear this layer cutting out in the actual beatbox. Thank God. But you can still hear the vocals shifting suddenly at times. The biggest issue is still just the consistency of it, because I will say, when everything else is on top of it, it's really not that bad. But this still would have been a way better sounding chorus had this been an actually good layer still. If it sounds good overall with a bad layer on it, imagine how good it would sound if that layer was actually good. It'd be a lot better. So anyway, with that being said, this is still only one layer, and the singing's still overall really solid. The rapping vocals as well, they're just solid. They're really straightforward, but they're good. They're super strong and emotional, and the delivery is super solid as well. The layering is super minimal, however, being just a higher, lower vocal. But I don't really think this needs to do much more than that at the same time. So, this is overall perfectly fine. Overall, this is really good everywhere. It's really just the high note layer. Lyrics, 15 out of 20. This is a pretty iffy category, but overall, it's good. So, firstly, the roasts, which are honestly a solid 50-50. Firstly, something good about them is a lot of these roasts are unique. Even with Shadow's bombshell of a round 2, this beatbox still managed to have really unique roasts on MB, and I can absolutely applaud it for doing so. The issue was the quality of these roasts. Some of them are perfectly fine, but almost half of them just either didn't make sense or were just blatantly untrue. So, just for some examples, firstly one being nonsense, the best jumper line. MB and Best Jumper were both being hard shit by the community, and MB had to come forward and literally reveal it as untrue themselves. This is perfectly fine to roast, but the line describes it as MB being ghosted. That is literally what Brooks says. And that's just not what happened. MB is the one who outed it as untrue. If anything, MB was the one ghosting Best Jumper. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense. So another, just a plain untrue lyric is about ITH being unfinished due to people LARPing about the show, which is just literally not what happened. MB complaining about LARPers in the screenshot as well does not have any correlation to the show getting cancelled. So one last example is the Daifu line. This is both nonsense and untrue. This line is completely built off MB dissing Daifu's lines. But the screenshot Brooks shows for this himself literally disproves the lyrics just by the screenshot being shown. Because it shows you that this just is not what MB said. MB referenced Daifu lying about something, which is like a character trait or whatever. Not any lines that Daifu has. So not only is this just not what MB said, the writing of the line is just completely broken. It doesn't make sense anymore because that's not what MB said and that's what you built it off of. Like, god damn, dude. So there are more examples for each of these scenarios, of course. But that'll blow this duck up pretty hard if we go over all of them. So, this is what I'm going to share. Luckily, everything else in the beatbox is still really solid, even if this does take up a good portion of it. So, the roasts aren't entirely just doomed. So, good for Brooks. So, I would say overall, they're fine. They're fine. Look, anyway, the writing, last again, is also just mixed. So, this is basically in the same boat as Ender 2 for reference, because the writing in every actual bar is really good, or at least the ones that weren't ruined by the roast. But anyway, everything has really good wordplay. The issue is just the connections from one bar to another through the entire beatbox. For the entire beatbox, maybe only one bar gets connected to like the next one or whatever. So this is yet another beatbox that suffers just from feeling random. I like the writing and all the bars, but like it's just one thing after another. There's like, that's it, that's all it is. Overall, there's a lot to respect about it, and a lot that really impressed me about it, which is why I could still justify a good score for it. But overall, there's just too much going wrong with it. A lot of really in-your-face flaws to where I don't think I could grade this any higher than a 15. So, yeah, that's about it for that. Beatboxing is a 16 out of 20. First things first, the sound set is pretty impressive. Tongue bass has been ditched as a primary sound and is exclusively used for click roll combos, which after round 2 is probably for the best. The sound set as a whole consists of tongue bass and click roll, and then of course technicality. There's also throat kicks thrown in fairly often, and then a moment with an actually fairly good snore bass. Every single sound besides snore bass is used in a technical way, and technicality consists through the entire beatbox. This, as a result, does show off the skill to be good, but the cleanliness isn't all the way there. There's a lot of times where his click roll isn't very clean, and it sounds more just like slurping than beatboxing. It sounds more like slurping than beatboxing. So the thing is, click roll, I don't actually have click roll, so I can't demonstrate. But I know how you do it. You have to breathe in with your tongue at the roof of your mouth in order to do it. Well, obviously, it's like a bit more than that, but like that's just the gist of it. But more importantly, that's why, if you're not doing it right, that's why it can just sound like you're just making a fucking slurping sound. Because in a way, you do kind of have to slurp to get that texture. But if you actually sound like you're just going like, or whatever, then like, you don't have the sound all the way. You don't have it clean. It sounds messy, and that is the problem here. This doesn't just happen once or twice. This is a common issue that comes up in almost half of the combos. This really prevents it from coming together all the way for me. And while it's still impressive in the end, it's just not what it could have been. Like, you had the right idea. The combos are still what they are. You are still doing those combos at the end of the day, but the execution just isn't all there. It needs time until it's developed, and as a result, it just doesn't sound complete. It just sounds messy, and that is a really big pet peeve. It is very audible for me. So anyway, the usage isn't too crazy. It's just technicality the whole way through over the beatbox. It's on beat, and a lot of the patterns are pretty smart. They fit over the beat really well. Most of the time, honestly, add quite a bit for me. I do have one complaint, though, while the patterns stay fairly consistent, what he's comboing with changes way too much. So the patterns are the same. It's just the sounds change up, and way too much. He'll like start off with a tongue kick, what the fuck? So he'll start off with like throat kick combos at the start of one segment, for example, and then switch to something else like suddenly, like just in between lines, but like in like the exact same segment where nothing else is actually changing about the beatbox, just the beatboxing. So, and there's no real reason for that, and that just leaves the beatboxing to sound more random over everything, instead of like it's actually trying to provide something to the beatbox. This is another issue that consists through the entire beatbox. Overall, the ideas are there, and there's a lot for me to appreciate about the category, but it just doesn't come together all the way for me. Then it's on to flow, which is a 19 out of 20. This is extremely straightforward. I have little to nothing to say, but we're in round 3. Again, I think we get it. It's original and fast and complex rapping for the entire beatbox. It consists for the entire beatbox with no slip-ups, and that's all it's need to be. It's close to a 20, but I simply think 20 is just a higher standard. That's really it. Other is a 0. There's literally nothing for other. So it's a 68 out of 80 in mid-A. That's all. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in the next round 3. There.